Hello and welcome everybody to Stop Feeling Invisible and Be the Center of His Life webinar. If you're joining this webinar, I'm sure that you've experienced feeling invisible one way or the other in your life. If you've done the worksheet that I provided for the webinar registration, I've asked you, what does feeling invisible mean to you? And I'm going to share with you what it felt like for me in different stages of my life. During my single years, it felt like I was literally an invisible woman. Men wouldn't notice me. They wouldn't come talk to me in a coffee shop, in a supermarket, or if I was out with a girlfriend. I remember once 3 men approached our table, and all 3 of them were very interested to talking to my friend and not to me. It literally felt like I wasn't even there. And I couldn't understand why. In my head, I would compare myself to her, my face, my figure, my clothes, and I thought, I really don't think I'm that bad compared to her. And I'm studying the exact same things in school as her. I'm just as smart. We have the same background. And I'm trying so hard to be nice to these guys. I'm trying to show how interested I am. But there's nothing. I just didn't get it. Now I'm going to share something with you that I never thought I would with anyone outside of the closest people to me. But I feel that once you get to truly see where I'm coming from, you'll see that I really do get your pain. There was a man who was madly in love with my friend, but she just didn't want to go out with him. So he would be calling me to tell me how much he would do anything to be with her. And the invisible girl inside of me always wondered, why her? She felt so sad. Why wasn't he picking me? I'm there for him all the time. Anytime he calls, I'm unbelievably sweet to him. And my friend couldn't care less about him. Why her and not me? Months went by and I was more determined than ever to make him fall in love with me. And believe it or not, ladies, this guy had nothing that I actually liked. He didn't have the looks, he didn't have the manners, he was just nothing that I found attractive about him. Yet I was so desperate to make him choose me. So then I went down one step lower and I started to become sexually available to him. Maybe then he would fall in love with me. And I went down that path for 1 year. And he made sure to remind me every chance he got that he didn't want to be my boyfriend. After a year of complete misery, I finally accepted defeat and I told him I can't do it anymore. And as I stopped being available to him, I remember his words exactly. Fine. If you just only sleep with me, if you're girlfriend, boyfriend, sure, call it what you want. We can be girlfriend, boyfriend. I know you're all probably feeling really sad for me, and I remember so vividly how I felt awful. I wanted to throw up when I heard those words. Yet the invisible girl inside of me finally felt like she had won. So of course, she went along with this so-called relationship. And so the second phase of my invisibility started as a woman in a relationship now. Now I had to be careful that this man that I worked so hard to get to actually love me and not leave me. So what did I do? I made sure to never say anything that would make him feel upset. When he wasn't paying any attention to me, I made sure to remind him that I still exist by calling him and texting him constantly and giving him a ride to his work, pick him up, drop him off. I gave him the most incredible gifts in the world. I was a student, so I used my college student loan and I bought him a really expensive laptop that he wanted. And despite all of that, guess what? He never even remotely gave me what I wanted. None of my needs and wants were ever met. Not that I would ever speak up and tell him what I wanted, but I never ever felt love and cherished coming from him anyways. I stayed with him for 5 years almost until I literally couldn't stand him anymore. I felt sick of him and I hated him and I hated myself even more. And then I started another relationship shortly after that. And this time, it started off very differently. This man at the beginning came on so strongly and would take the bus for 2 hours every single day to come and see me. And it seemed too good to be true, and I was so terrified of losing him. So I went back to my old ways of trying to make sure that it would never happen, that he would never leave me. I started doing everything that I used to do in my past relationship again. I tried to make his life so easy with my loving gestures, and to my shock, the more I did for him, the less he did for me. After 3 years, I couldn't even recognize this man anymore. I literally felt like he couldn't see me when I was standing right in front of him. He was just so unloving and uncaring and distant. I waited 1 more year in hopes that he would change back to how he was with me, but he didn't. He was always late for our dates. He stopped paying for the bill if we went on any dates. And every time I tiptoed around telling him that I want more, he always ended up getting defensive and withdrew. And of course, that relationship ended with so much resentment. And my third relationship ended even more disastrous than the other two. I was done with my old ways and I was assured that there is something that I'm not getting right here. I'm the only common denominator in all these relationships, so I started doing research. And I was lucky to find Rory Ray's amazing programs, and I got private coaching, and I found out what was it that was happening to me and to my relationship. I had a massive case of nice girl syndrome. And this is how I would define nice girl syndrome. It's a woman who's always operating from a place of fear, fear of conflict, fear of being rejected, and fear of being abandoned. And so she's always making sure that the man, and in most cases everyone around her, are always pleased with her. She cannot risk having someone, especially her man, to be upset with her. So what does she do? She says yes to everything when she wants to say no. She says yes to last minute dates. She says yes to driving him when she doesn't want to do that. She says yes to having sex earlier than she's ready for, and she says yes to being a girlfriend when she wants to be married. She doesn't make a sound when he openly flirts with other women. She keeps smiling when he says something offensive to her in front of others. She says it's okay when he cancels on her frequently. She stands there and takes it when he calls her names and accuses her of things that aren't true. And she gives and gives to him her time, her body, gifts. She cooks for him. She plans wonderful evenings for him. She believes he'll stay if she gives him a reason to stay. She just never feels good enough for him as she is. And she's always left feeling empty and unfulfilled. Does this sound familiar to you? If you have the nice girl syndrome, has it ever truly gotten you what you wanted? It never got me what I wanted. I wanted to feel adored and doted on, and yet my way of going about it was to try to get it out of men by putting on a show for them. I hid my feelings, I hid what I wanted, and I acted cool and happy and having a fake smile on, with my mouth shut. I love what Einstein says about insanity. He says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And so this is why we need to stop. We have to stop doing what doesn't work. We have to stop sending out the message that what I want doesn't matter, because that's what we are doing right now. When we shove aside what we want and we feel bad, yet we pretend all is well, we are telling the world what I want doesn't matter. I'll just hide it. And that's exactly what he and the entire world will say back to us, okay, sure, what you want doesn't matter, as you wish. So what do? We have to change the message that we are sending out to the universe. If up to now, the response that we've received was exactly in line with what we've been sending out, it is proof enough that once we change that message, we will also get a different response, right? But I also understand that it feels frightening and overwhelming to do it all at once. It's a step by step process that we have to start adopting, and we have to make daily routines so it starts to feel more natural to us. So I'd like to introduce to you a tool which I call the mask, the nice girl syndrome mask. And I want you to imagine that this mask can hide anything that you wish once you put it on. What is it that you always want to hide? Is it your fears? You don't want to appear weak to him? Is it your jealousy? You don't want him to think that you're insecure? You're not cool? Is it your actual appearance? Do you feel not beautiful enough so you always cover up your face in lots of makeup because you don't think he'd find your natural look beautiful? Or is it the opposite? You're afraid to put on makeup because you think you'll draw attention to you and that feels uncomfortable to you. Whatever it is, I want you to imagine that this mask can cover it up when you put it on. All those parts that you don't want him to see, he won't be able to see them. I also want you to know that this mask is also literally standing between the two of you as a barrier. It's not letting him get close to you and see you and fall in love with you. Now, I want you to do this with me. I want you to imagine your man. If you're single, it can be someone that you're interested in or your ideal man standing right in front of you and you're wearing your mask. I want you to notice that he is looking at you, but he's only seeing what you allow him to see, and he can't get close to you. Now I want you to put your hand on the mask and take it off. And as you take it off, there is nothing covering you anymore. What you tend to hide always is now all exposed. Is it your fears and doubts, insecurity, your anger, the things that you want that you think that if you say them, he will think less of you and leave you? They're all out there right now. And it's okay to feel shaky, and if you feel terrified, that's okay. Just let it be there. Now I want you to take a moment and go into your body. He's still right there standing in front of you, and I want you to go inside. Scan your body, go to your belly, go to your heart, chest, and see where is it that you feel the tension and that feeling that you are trying to so badly hide. Where is it? Now go there, and I want you to stay in that part of your body that feels bad. And I want you to say to it after me, I love you. I'm sorry that I've always hidden you and never paid any attention to you. I can feel your pain. I can feel your tension. And I can feel that you're scared. And I'm here for you. And I'm never going to abandon you. And I want you to stay with it for a moment and take a deep breath. Does it feel any lighter? If it does, that's wonderful. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. And I want you to look at him now. What is he doing? Is he looking at you with curiosity and more warmth? You are safe here. And what we just did here was to create attraction. Why? Because the moment you turn your attention inward, when you stop avoiding and pushing aside what feels uncomfortable, instead you stay there with it and pour love all over it, and you say that I'm not going to fight with you anymore and make you feel invisible and unloved, you create harmony and peace within you. When you feel at peace and in harmony and filled with love, what's going to happen on the outside is going to reflect what's happening on the inside. It's happening all your life. You're giving love to yourself, and that's exactly what He will feel inspired to do. Give love to you and to all of you, not just the parts that you pick and choose that you think it deserves to be loved. Ladies, the parts of you that you are hiding, the parts of you, your fears and doubts, the ones that you shove aside and you don't pay any attention to, and you think by ignoring them they'll go away, they will never go away, but they keep on running you. They're the ones that are actually bringing you the things that you don't want. So the only way to truly feel seen and loved is to recognize when the urge to go into hiding comes up. When you want to hide your emotions, hide your truth, hide your desires, hide your fears and doubts and insecurities. Take a moment to become very aware of it. Go inward and acknowledge those unwanted feelings, and instead of doing what you've always done, the things that it hasn't worked so far, by ignoring them and getting rid of them, be with them, love them, and stop making those parts of you invisible and insignificant. You see, it's all in your hands. Feeling invisible and insignificant is the exact way that you treat yourself. That's why you're experiencing it in the outside with your men and with men in general. The way you treat you is the way you tell him and the world around you to treat you. And that's what I want for you, is to treat yourself with unconditional love for every single part of you. The ones that are easy to love, but also the parts of you that aren't so easy to love. Yet those are the parts that need love the most. And once you learn how to love them, everything and everyone, including your man or your future man, will feel loved and cherish them too. And that's exactly what we will be doing in Stop Feeling Invisible and Be the Center of His Life group coaching program in Rory Ray's Siren School. We will learn how to love every part of you. We will discover the invisible parts of you that you're not even aware of, but they've been running you all your life. And we'll bring them into light. We'll learn how to love them and how to play nice with them. So on the inside, the first relationship that we're going to fix is the relationship you have with you. And so the relationship on the outside with your man and with everybody around you is going to take effect. If you want to know more about this program, please contact me at sharzadcoaching.com. You can go to my website or you can email me at sharzadcoaching@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer your questions and tell you more about the program. Until then, have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Bye.